So next year will actually be an interesting year for Enotri. It will mark our 10th anniversary. In those 10 years, we have come a long way. We had an interesting journey, which is by far not over. It was always my goal from the very beginning to bring new, interesting wineries and wines to our market. And a quick look at my files today revealed that over the last 10 years, we actually brought in 75 different wineries, totaling about 350 different wines that we introduced to the Alberta market. Now, when you introduce these many wines, it is sometimes easy to forget the ones that have been with you from day one. It wasn't until recently when I came across a copy of the wonderful movie Under the Tuscan Sun that I remembered several of these wines again. Under the Tuscan Sun, I believe, if memory serves me right, came out in about 2003, 2004. It was around that time, in those days I was working for a group of Italian wineries, when I started my regular travels to Italy, specifically the region of Tuscany. Now, that particular movie is set in the city of Cortona. Beautiful, typical Tuscan landscape with rolling hills, blue skies, brilliant sunshine, and all these things I got to experience in various parts of Tuscany. And I totally fell in love with the people, with the wines, with the food, with the country. It was actually also in one of those wineries in Tuscany that gave me one of the defining moments in my career that convinced me to start the project Enotri, to start my own company again. It was almost exactly 10 years ago when we hosted a group of American customers at one of these wineries. And we usually, it was customary for us, we hosted a lunch served in the outside courtyard of one of the buildings of the winery. And this courtyard was surrounded by a natural fence and hedge of cypress trees and bushes. Around 1 o'clock in the afternoon, the wind came in from the Mediterranean, and you could sense, you could smell the scent of the cypress trees and the trees and the vines. And without further explanation, you knew exactly why the olive oil tasted the way it did, why the wines taste the way they do. And it was at that moment where I said, this is what I want to do for the rest of my career. I want to try to share these moments, these experiences, these emotions with our customers in Alberta. So I got to meet the Dalcero family, who bought vineyards outside of the town of Cortona. And this is by far my favorite wine. All their wines are wonderful, but this Preziosaterra, this red wine, really speaks to me. Number one, the name itself is beautiful. It means the precious land, the precious earth. And when you smell it, when you taste the wine, you really, really get it. It's a beautiful blend of Sangiovese and Syrah. Cortona is the only region in Italy that has a DOC status for the Syrah grape variety, because the Italian government recognized how amazing this terroir is for the cultivation of this grape. So you have the freshness, the acidity, the tannins of the Sangiovese, providing the full perfect harmony to the richness, to the spiciness of the Syrah. And when you taste this wine, when you smell this wine, you get this incredible warmth, you get this wonderful harmony of all the elements of the tannins, of the natural fruitiness in the wine, of the residual sugar, of the acidity. And when you have a wine with this kind of harmony, only the limits of your imagination are providing the limits as to what you can do with this wine, what kind of food you can share with that. I would have that with truffles, I would have that with fresh pasta and a wild boar ragu. I would have that with the bistecca fiorentina, or a simple plate of charcuterie with salami and wonderful cheeses. The beautiful spice in the finish. Brings back all these memories that I experienced from my first visits to Tuscany, starting in the year 2006 all the way up to now. I do hope that we can encourage you to share some of these experiences with us, to journey through the world of Enotri. And when you do, or whatever journey you embark on, remember, roots always matter.